reversing that flow day after day in that Coyote sort of way, man. Yeah, which means that we get to it rather jocularly, wouldn't you say? Yeah, darlings, if you can't laugh, you can't get anywhere, man. If you're holding there onto that grudge, well, guess what? Make fudge out of that grudge, okay? And eat it all up and let's go play. Because you'll have a lot of high energy then, wouldn't you say? So that's what we're doing today, man. But we're not going the eating way. We're going the flying way, the get high way, baby. The way of our sweet love, our sweetheart, the heart of our earth, the heart of our mother love, sweet Mary J. The essential sacred herb that helps you along the way rather gently, wouldn't you say? If you just allow her to be, man. First you got to see that we've been living in kind of a caricature world, baby. And world is spelled WHIRLED in case, you need some interpretation there, because not only does she spin around while she's going around the sun, well, we're rocking down and spinning around and just having the greatest of time, experiencing the divine as we do unwind along with our Mother Earth. Sweet Mary J. helping us along the way, because she is the earth, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything we are made of, which is all of that too, baby. You are a rock star in this reality, and forever you're going to be, man. There's no getting out of it. You can't flame out on this one. You're not a shooting star anymore, man. You're a shooting star arising, going the other way, man. Just getting brighter and brighter as you expand into all of this reality, encouraged on by the love of the sun inside of the mother, because she's the one, okay? It's the nurturing love that brings creation forward and experiences it in her fullness. And gentlemen, it's time to accept that back in, he says with a grin. You can't go at it in the way you've been. I'm telling you, you got to just let that flow reverse itself, don't you know? So in other words, you better approach this lady, this woman, this mother of love, this representation thereof, right there before your very eyes, with the deepest, most heartfelt respect that you can hold in your soul. She's not just a little Lulu, don't you know? Never has been either. You went with an errant flow, culturally encouraged to demean the woman to, something you just get your rocks off with, okay? And that ain't the way now, is it, baby? The stunning beauty, the spectacular representation of life in each and every one of us called human is shocking beyond belief. Shocking when you see the true reality, when you finally let your eyes show you the heart's way, which is creation. Then when you look upon a naked goddess, for example, what do you see? Glowing light, glittering love, sugary truth, sweet as all get out, man. I'm telling you. And then she begins to see herself that way too, and shakes off the effect of this 3D and says, screw that, come with me. And with the goddess you shall forever be. As one person, one life. When you let that flow reverse, don't you know? It's the medicine of your heart and soul, making it right now. It ends the ancient hunger, the flame that went out so long ago. We had to get real passionate and crazy, don't you know? Looking for that fire, trying to find that glow. The sunlight inside seemed to have died. And all we felt was dark and alone. And kind of unfriendly, too, after you've been bruised a time or two. Because this life can really kick your ass and hard. You go at it as an innocent lass. You don't mean to hurt no one, nor to be hurt yourself either, man. You're just pursuing the way of the heart in your own innocent way. Programmed though you might be in a lot of ways, culturally and resonatingly. I mean, we get interfered with here a bunch. It's amazing we can do anything, let alone put a spoon to our lips or speak with one another, share a hug once in a while. Amazing. And look how much further we're going than that, as we allow the flame of the heart to reignite inside. That's the mother and son joined as one. See, so it ain't the man in the woman no more. It's the woman in the man. And that's the flow. And the reversal thereof, don't you know? And what this does is it regenerates everything. It's like the river of life flowing outward now instead of, down that long lazy path to the ocean. It just flows into all the life around it. It becomes that life. It experiences that life through the liquid love made of light. The mother light, ignited by the father light of the sun. S-U-N. Yeah, the represented one here in this reality by certain persons, don't you see? Yet, that's just a representation, not the reality. The reality is shining through that person so that you'll know what to do. And yeah, the energy of it, the lies that have been told around it, etc. Of course, we, hired a bunch of archons or whatever you want to call them, some really odd sort of life that would continually give us strife, to put us to the test and do their best to destroy us, and gave them the feeling thereof, the desire. And that desire slipped into us. And we became, as a race, as a planet, self-destructive. And look where that's led us. We're on the edge of disaster with every breath we take in this 2017. Yet it is the very gateway to heaven. And all these disasters exist so that we can see there is no disaster. If you put as much energy into preventing disaster as you do for preparing for it, yeah, survivalists indeed, and then some, huh? If you put as much energy, instead of hoarding things, seeing what it would take to settle things inside of yourself first and foremost, because there can't be peace here until we each one are settled inside of ourselves, and then peace is automatically held by all of us. It's an equitous energy field. And these old illusions of differences, of division, they're meaningless. They're gone. They dissolve away. They were illusions anyway. Tribally, we're all one tribe in a heartfelt sort of way. Aligned completely in the heart of sweet Mary Jade. Metaphorically, of course, but yet she is our Divine Mother, Mary Jane. Now that's a representation of an energy the same way that sacred herb is. It carries the essence of that energy so that you might experience it again inside of your own personal presence, fixated in the 3D though you may be. And then she helps you see a little vision beyond that reality. And you start to experience creative love. Love that isn't desperate anymore. Love that doesn't need anything from anyone. It has everything from everyone anyway. And always. Whatever it desires, that's how it plays. But it's a very innocent, heartfelt way. The very opposite of what we thought we had to be here in the 3D. It's based in a mother's love, that essence. And in the sun love, the light, the warmth that expands the mother's love into being. They're both one figurement. It's like the sun inside of the earth rather than outside of it. Yet through that shining earth and us as her children, that same sunlight from all the trees and all the human beings and all the birds and all the majesty of creation. See, because our true nature comes forward now. The essential pure love. That which is prepared and doesn't need a disaster to kick it in gear. It's already here. It's happening. It's arriving right now there inside of your heart. This living work of art that you are as the stunning human presence. You presented yourself to be here, quite innocently. Been devoured by the wolves, the jackals, the crazy little serpent snakes, etc. Yet, look, you still exist. You're still alive. You're not just living and breathing. You're feeling. You're coming back this way. The flow has reversed again today. Away from that which would have killed us and destroyed us, but brought us back to life in its own silly way. Never fear death, because that is the gateway to life. And see, as the flow does reverse, All we do is go through what we've already rehearsed, that death to the reality of 3D. It's not real. Yet it's been real enough to us as we lived it, right? But it's all in what you feel. And let that feeling help you expand and grow in your heart, the medicine now of Spring Creek, your moment of truth. And from here you expand with the glow of the great sunlight inside. You'll never be cold again. Your warmth shines on forever, same as the sun, same as the stars. Because the sun is a star inside of the mother's heart. That's why I call us rock star. And being replication of the mother, we are her little baby rock star. Set free in the craziest of realities, but yet look where we be now. Pulled back, brought together with the full presence of the true personal heart that we are. So go with his flow here on the Hazy Radio Network. Get the rock, get the roll. Soak up some sun, don't you know? Okay? I knew you'd see it this way. Oh, babies, I'd say it's time, all right. Time to experience rock and roll living in that multi-dimensional way from these original waters of life in which you are bathing in that rock and roll sort of way. Spring Creek, only and exclusively on the Everclear Hazy Radio Network, dear. HazyRadio.com. We got it on, babies. Now prepare yourself for a little launch, a little takeoff, a little mo rock and roll that just shakes you free inside, baby, as you are shaking your bacon on the outside too, baby. Wow, it's what we were made for, okay? Oh, baby, when Mary Jane comes your way, it's sweeter than the punch could ever be, baby, because it's a sweetness that's genuine. It starts right inside your soft, sweet little hide. Now, I'm going to take you on a little journey now, back to the first time you ever took a toke of the sweet, sacred smoke, thinking you was really getting away with something because it's illegal as all get out, and you're out there hiding behind the barn, behind that trailer house, having yourself a little first toke, or maybe it's the 10th time, but finally, this one time, the first time, you begin to realize the divine nature of the divine way, because Mary Jane helps you open up your heart that way, man. You take a little toke of the sacred herb, her sacred green flower, as we call her here in the USA, anyway. And babies, you know, she helps you feel the way. She expands your conscious presence. She softens the restricted world that you live in so you can begin to see beyond it, into what you really are. You know, you get the deeper thoughts, the deeper way you get. It brings out the muse, Miss Mary J. And when she's there to help you, well, babies, nothing's in the way. Okay? Now, sure, you can be a stoner and a loady, and you can fall over because you smoke so doggone much. But after a while, because she's so gentle, she did bring you back around no matter how bad you abuse her. You know, in fact, even the fact that we got a smoker is kind of like, wow. I got to do, man, really, if we want to stay high and gentle-natured in the way she encourages us to be, to have her high all the time, a total continual buzz, an expansive conscious presence, and all of the 3D and way beyond it too, man. I mean, into all of it, baby. Well, we just got to have some plants around, and every now and then you think about them. You're aware of their presence, and you're there in that presence, and you participate in that presence. And that's the full experience of the plant life, you know, the full presence of the sacred earth in its most gracious and blossoming way. You can feel all of it right now, today. See, it reflects to us our truth. We have a center root stock, goes right down into the earth energetically. And clear into the sky, too, man. And it participates in both, man. We are just like that plant, man. We're a blossoming, growing life, rooted in the earth. And, man, we are ready to express our joyous aspect of creation, which is the full presence in it, by allowing ourselves to be in it and letting sweet Mary J. help us along the way, okay? Now, this is not a commercial in any way. I'm simply, you know, fulfilling my performance function here as Pope Mary Jane herself in himself, okay? That's the way I've been made, and I do that the first day. I toked on her, I'll tell you, though. The first time around, I didn't do it right. I didn't get high. Second time, I says, oh, my. See? I began to experience that plant life, the rooted life, you know, and I began to, you know, then expand into 3D a little beyond it. I could take these things I've kind of held as ideals and begin to see them as living things in creation. Just because I toked a little of that sacred herb and experienced a little of the blossoming plant life of sweet Mary J. Now see, this is how she's there to help you along the way. And of course, it's much better if you don't abuse her, you know, but you know, when she's so cool and she's ready to go anytime you are, well, babies, it's kind of hard to resist, isn't it? Okay. So let yourself go whatever way you got to go. See, this is how you learn to let go of restrictions, don't you know? You got to live through the misery of them for a while until you realize there aren't any. And the only way I know of getting there is to allow yourself to be free inside, free to feel the love that you're made of, and not deny it or suppress it in any way, and not have to, because you know you can't hurt another person when you're living in this kind of love. Now, you may live in monogamy forever and ever, and that's just cool because it includes everyone and everything. You see, it's a whole different way of living, and it's what the sacred herb is to help us expand into. A life that is of nature, the natural nature. See, that's what our nature around us suggests back to us. By, you know, everything out there is cared for by this nature and grows in accordance to that nature. It's natural. A tree knows what it's going to be the moment it first puts a sprout out and gets a root down. And it's ready for it too, man. And it loves hanging out. They hold the solidarity in this 3D, the rooted reality. Go hug a tree today, man. You know, no, don't go doing anything else, but just go hug a tree. Okay? Do it in that coyote way, with an open heart, man, you know. And if you can't legally cop a buzz where you are because, you know, they have a real heavy prejudice against Mary Jane like Indiana or Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma seems to be losing it, and Texas does too, man, you know. Down there in the Bible Belt, they're starting to realize that maybe Jesus does smoke some pot every now and then, and maybe he used it in his practice too, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I really am. Because, you know, it's the most precious, one of the most precious gifts this earth has to share with us. It's right up there with gold and so forth. I mean, you know, in fact, it far exceeds gold because gold's just a shiny little rock that reminds us of our purity, of course, you know. But Mary Jane, man, that's the sacred expansion. That's the water that gets the seed to sprout out and the blossom to growing, man. And that's the fertilizer with it, the past. You see, you break it down to its basic elements at last, and you're no longer burdened by all of that. You see the love in it. You see the sincerity of your own intention. Even when you were being a dirty, skullduggerous SOB or whatever, you know what I mean? Jelly bean. And hard coating is starting to soften up now a little bit. And you're finding out there's a whole lot of sweetness, soft, gooey sweetness inside, all right? Only it's got this organization and structure to it. It just comes by nature. A natural energetic flow that the nature around us suggests and carries for us, don't you know? Haven't you ever wondered why humans are so out of sync with the earth around them, when everything else that lives here is as perfectly in sync as it can be, considering the interference we make with it all over the place? And see, you know, we're the only ones of all of nature's critters here in the 3D that isn't just naturally cared for by the 3D, by the nature in it. And this is what we're here to live, opposite of nature for a while, so we can learn to go with the natural flow and stay in it, don't you know? We know where not to go. You understand my flow? Joe? Jane, you gonna let go of that pain now? Quit hating Joe for being such a a-ho. Well, he couldn't help it, man. He was born and bred that way. You know, come to him generationally and culturally too, man. Guys in this reality are taught to be so numb, especially if they get ham-slammered by the military, you know, in their early years. Shit. It takes a long time to recover from that. In fact, most guys never do. Sadly said, but that's back in the land where everybody was dead. Now we're coming back to life. Guess what? You can do anything. Anything goes, because it's already gone. See, and we're not doing that no more. You understand? We can just let go. It's like, you know, one of those big old politicos that's been a part of a great big old power machine that, you know, literally assassinates people with routine regularity, and you're a big part of it, you know. You just don't have to be that way anymore. All of a sudden, you got the gift of the angels going on, man, and you are feeling the angelic presence of yourself, and suddenly you're free of all of that. Because you're nothing but love, and that's what you're made of, and so is everything else, too. It's all been an experience. It's all been a way to grow, don't you know, by putting ourselves to the test, heart and soul. Dragging it down to the bottom, man, so we appreciate rising to the top, and then find that happy place in the middle of everything where we can experience it all. That's what this little amusement park of life's all about. It's preparation for the grand experience of the orgasmic reunion of life. Indeed, a life that is so full of love, everything it does is loving. It can't do anything else. That's its nature. That's humanity's heart coming out to play. It's been eclipsed for a long, long time, babies, but we allowed these elements. We needed the experience of it for whatever the reason now, you know. We can all be harshly critical of the moves we've made as spirit presences, but gee whiz. Water under the bridge now, man. Guess what? That flows on down the ocean, makes new life all over the place. I mean, there is nothing that's holding us back anymore. I mean, it all breaks down to life flowing in a good, sweet, loving direction, which is the infection we share here day to day as we give you a fresh drink of water right here at Spring Creek, the headwaters of life, your moment of truth. On the Hazy Radio Network with Grandpa Coyote, Okiwan Kenobi, and a whole raft of personal angels coming right there with you and all the rest of us too, man. This is a rockin' ride here in the spaceship love, radiating love from 9,000 feet high inside Studio 420, man. Now you understand the really sacred plan, the sneakiness of the goodness in this life. It's Coyote through and through. And guess what? That coyote lives in me, that coyote lives in you, and our little dogs too. And don't pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. He's taking a shower, for heck's sakes. Dog, put that curtain back. Oh, well, hey, look at that, man. He's showering away the whole doggone reality. There ain't no yellow brick road. There ain't no Oz. There's only us standing there with no underwear. We say, my goodness golly, ain't we happy to be here wherever this might be? Oh, and we move forward lovingly in synchronicity with everything that is and everything that always was and always shall be. Totally and completely in harmony with it. See, this is rock and roll, baby. It's got its harsher edge, but it's totally harmonic, and it's sweet, and it's meant to move you out of hell back into your paradise, babies. Don't think twice. Let the flow take you, okay? Here's saluting to your heart today and the life you've lived in it, baby. And the love that you feel flowing out of it now, babies, in the end house. You give it that root, you bet, you know. Don't be guilty for the pleasure you feel. Because in that pleasure is a love trying to help you get it real. I know it's like little children playing around in the mud puddle and trying to find nirvana. It takes some doing to realize what's really going on here. But when you do, then you start to feel it. That's the real deal then. Because as you feel, you create it. And it is real. I mean, you know, that's the whole idea. Took us into being ourselves again, okay? Oh, baby, and here's to you once again.